Everyone, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time watching one of my video tutorials, I make video tutorials on AWS Lightsail platform, WordPress installs and configuration, especially on the AWS Lightsail platform, and other web hosting tools and services that are easy to set up and use. I also have tutorials on WordPress tips and tricks, mostly for the beginners. So if these are the videos that you are interested in, then please consider subscribing to my channel and going through all the tutorials that I've done so far. I also have an accompanying website, webhostingforbeginners.net, where you can go to look at the detailed steps that I run through in the videos. You can use the steps to copy and paste the commands that we run through as well. So it's a good reference tool, and if you need it, it's right there. So go check it out. Today I will show you how to set up the Amazon Simple Email Service, or SES, for sending emails using your custom domain. If you don't have an email server set up to send or receive emails using your own domain, then this tutorial is for you. This is going to be similar to some of my previous videos I've done in relation to setting up email for your WordPress website. In those videos I've used Gmail as a service, Zoho Mail as a service, and I think I also show you how to set up Sendinblue as a service as well. Now most of those have limitations or they have a free tier that do not give you a lot of capabilities in terms of the amount of emails you can send out. And so when you want to set up a newsletter service, for example, or if you have a lot of emails that you've collected and you want to market to them, then those solutions may not work or may have severe limitations, or they may cost too much. Amazon SES is much cheaper, especially if you do intend to send bulk emails out to your customers or people that have signed up to your newsletter, for example. So I want to show you today how to set up Amazon SES and use it with the WP SMTP plugin. And so without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is log into your AWS account. And if you're used to logging into your Lightsail account, for example, this is our Lightsail dashboard, then all you have to do is click on AWS at the top here. And that should take you into the AWS Management Console. From there, you'll search for Simple Email Service, and you just click on that. And that should bring you to the Amazon Simple Email Service dashboard. From here, we'll click on Identity Management. And then the first thing we'll do is verify our domain name. So click on Verify a New Domain Name. And in this tutorial, I will use my website's domain name, webhostingforbeginners.net. And then you'll want to click on Generate DKIM Settings. And this little snippet here describes you what the DKIM or Domain Keys Identified Mail setting helps with. If you do want to learn more about it, there's lots of articles on the internet, and Wikipedia has pretty good information on DKIM. But you do want to generate DKIM settings and click on Verify this domain. And once you do that, it will show a dialog or a information panel here where you need to now set up the DNS records for domain verification, the DKIM record set, and as well as for receiving email. And I'll talk about this in a second. But let's go ahead and head on over to the DNS Management Console. So for me, that will be name.com, but you should go to wherever you have your domain registered. And that could also be Route 53 if you registered your domain with Amazon SES or Amazon Domain Registration Service. So I will go ahead and log into my name.com account, and then we'll show you the DNS record. Okay, so this is name.com's DNS Management Console. And if you use some other service, then it should be pretty similar. And what you'll want to do is now set up the records that are given to us right here. So the first one we'll set up is the TXT record, and this is for domain verification, basically letting Amazon know that we own this domain. So let's copy. Now, each DNS service is a little bit different. Some of them want you to type in the entire string here, which is including the custom domain. But for name.com, they only want the beginning part. So I am going to copy that, move this here, and we'll create a TXT record. Put that here, and the answer. There we go, and then add the record. Now we need to do the same thing for the rest of these as well. So I'm going to just fast forward through the setup of the CNAME record. So okay, so I have the CNAME records and my TXT records set up. Now the last record that you can add is the MX record, and this is for receiving emails on this domain. Now, if you already have an email server set up and you have send and receive capabilities for your domain, then you should not add this record. You should skip. But in my case, I don't have any email server or any kind of system to receive emails on this domain, so therefore I will add the MX record. Okay, so I have that set up. Once we're done with this, we'll come back here, and now it's the waiting game for Amazon to verify your domain and make sure that all the records were set up correctly. So just check this. May take a few minutes, may take a few hours, but you'll just clicking on this refresh, you'll see my verification has been done, but the DKIM status is still pending. Okay, so my domain is now verified and the DKIM status is also verified, and we have been set up to send emails. So the next process is to add email addresses that are allowed to send emails with your domain name. And so that's what we do over here. If you see right here, we need to verify your new email address. So for example, on your website, you may want to send out emails using the email address noreply@yourdomainname.com. So you would want to set that up here. You would want to say no reply at web hosting for beginners.net in my case. So in my case, I will set this up and I need to verify it. So what happens in the verification process is Amazon will send an email to this email address, and in that email will contain a confirmation link that you have to confirm that this is in fact a valid email address. Now the issue we have here is that we really don't have any way of receiving the email. There is no email server or there is nothing set up. Now in your case, if you do have an email server set up for this domain, then you have that access, you'll receive the email and you can confirm it. But in our case here, we don't have an email server set up to receive the email. So what we have to do is use a little trick, and I'll show you that right now. So we'll go ahead and click cancel. So we won't do anything here. We'll come down here and click on rule sets. And so what we want to do is create a new recipient rule set, and we'll have the recipient. So in our example, we'll say no reply at web hosting for beginners.net, and this could be your domain name, and you can add as many recipients as you want. You'll notice here that the status is showing as verified, but that just means that this email address is verified because our domain is verified. The email address itself is not verified yet. So go ahead and add all your recipients here. The next step, click on next. And what we'll do is we'll just say, send these emails. So a few things you can do here as an action when an email is sent to that email address. So these actions are, you can add a header, bounce, you can kick off a Lambda function. You can send the email to an S3 bucket, and you can also send the email to an SNS topic. You can also stop the rule set, and the final one is work mail. So work mail is kind of the equivalent to Google Suite, the paid version of the Google Gmail service, or Office 365. So Amazon also has one called work mail. So you can look into that if you really want to set up a paid service. But what we'll do here is just send the email to an S3 bucket. And you can go ahead and click here and create an S3 bucket. So we could just say domain verification, or maybe name it something better. Web hosting for beginners email. So we'll click that. And pretty much you can leave everything else default or just empty, and then click next. Again, set everything, leave everything as is. You need to give it a rule name. So web hosting email, domain email confirmation to S3. Just give it a name, whatever you want. And then click on create rule. So now we have a rule that says whenever you receive an email at noreply@webhostingforbeginners.net or noreply@yourdomain.com, then send that email to the S3 bucket. And so this is how we will get that confirmation email. So come back here to email addresses, click on verify new email. Let's type that same one in here, webhostingforbeginners.net. Verify, and then click close. And so here you'll see that it's pending verification. So now let's head on over to S3. So click on, just type up S3 up here. You'll see the S3 service. I use Control and then click so that it opens in a new tab. And in the S3 service, you'll see that there is a web hosting for beginners email. This is the one that is available. And here you'll see there are two items already here. This first one, Amazon SES setup notification, that just is a generic notification, so we can ignore that. But the one we're interested in is this one. Now, you can't really open this email in your browser. So if you try to open this email in the browser, you're going to get access denied. And there are some permissions that you can work through to see if you can open it. But for our purposes, the easiest way, since this is just a one-time thing, easiest way is to download the file. So we're going to go ahead and click on download. And that should now be here. So we'll go to show in folder. There we go, and then I'm going to open this in our editor. So let's open it in Sublime Text. There we go. Here's the email. So if you open up that downloaded file in Sublime Text, you'll see the entire email envelope as well as the email itself. So within this email, here's the email, or here's the link that we have to click on to verify this email address. So you copy this, and then just come open up a new browser window and paste that URL that you copied from the file, and it should, hopefully, if everything goes right, you should have that a message saying you have successfully verified an email address. So let's come back to our SES console, and it still says pending verification, but hit refresh, and now this is verified. So we have verified the email address so that we can send out the emails. So that is all done. What we need to do next is click on sending statistics. So when you see here, when you click on that, you'll see production access sandbox. So by default, Amazon does not give you production level access to send out emails without additional verification. So they set it up as a sandbox so that you can test your application that's connecting to Amazon SES, or you can use it for development. But when you do want to send emails to your email list, you need to do an additional step, and that is clicking on this edit your account details. So you click on this, and then what you want to do here is say enable production access. You know, what kind of emails are you going to be sending? Are they transactional emails? For example, order completion or order notification if you have a e-commerce site, or are you sending marketing emails? So, you know, newsletter signups or newsletter blasts, things like that. So you want to identify what type of mail you're intending to send. You have to give your website URL, and then you have to give a detailed description of the type of emails that you're going to send. How are you collecting those emails to be added to the list? So you want to give as much information as possible, and then submit for review. And within about 24 hours, you'll get a response back from the Amazon support desk indicating whether they've enabled production access or if they need additional information before they can do that. So this is an additional safety measure that they've put in to prevent email abuse and just, you know, hackers getting access to this and sending spam and stuff like that. So this is the next step that you'll have to do. I'm not going to do it as part of this this tutorial, but just be sure that you do need to do this when you want to use it. You know, we have all the information we need to set up the plugin on the WordPress site. So let me show you this. Click on domains, click on the domain that you have, and then you'll have here, click on SMTP settings. So we have all the information we need to set up and configure the plugin on the WordPress site. So let's go ahead and do that. So back to Lightsail dashboard. I have a dummy WordPress instance running here that I'll use, but you'll log into your WP admin for your WordPress site. Okay, so you should be logged into your WP admin dashboard. If you don't already have the plugin, let's go ahead and get the plugin. Search for SMTP, and usually the first one will be the WP Mail SMTP plugin. Looks like I already have it downloaded. Just needed to get it updated and activated. There we go. Let's activate the plugin. And looks like they have some updates, but all you have to do is come back here and let's come down to here, and we'll type in no reply at web hosting for beginners.net, and then you could, you know, give it a from name, so website, email, or whatever you feel like. Force that. Check the return path to match the email. And then here you have some options. And like I mentioned, we've done previous tutorials on setting up Gmail, Zoho, also Sendinblue. But in this case, we will do Amazon SES. Now, if you click on Amazon SES here, you'll notice that this is a pro feature. So if you do have the pro version of this plugin, go ahead and click that. If you don't have it, then what you could do is other SMTP. And then here, you copy these credentials or this information, server name, and we'll do TLS, create my SMTP credentials. So here you want to enter a name, or we can just accept the default. So we'll just hit default and hit create. And you'll copy the username here. And you will also copy the password. And then you'll just hit save settings. So there you go. Now you should be able to use the Amazon SES service to send out emails. But again, prior to doing that, we won't be able to test it here. Prior to doing that, we do have to get the sandbox. Let's see. We do have to get the sandbox status removed. If you go to simple email service, sending statistics, and you have to go here and edit your account details and request a review of your account so that they can convert it to production access enabled. And also say request increase sending limits, and that also opens a support ticket to Amazon. And again, same thing, they ask you for a variety of information just to make sure they know what type of activity you intend to do with the Amazon SES service. Now that's one way we set up the WordPress plugin to send out emails. But if you don't intend to do that with your WordPress website and instead you want a dedicated email sending application or a newsletter application or marketing platform, if you do intend to use a separate service, I recommend looking at a newsletter app that I came across recently called Sendy.co. This is a very a neat little application. It's self-hosted, so you could run this on your own Lightsail instance. It is a paid product, but it's very relatively inexpensive. I believe it's $69. It's a one-time fee. You get unlimited upgrades or updates to the application. But once you have this set up and running, it actually automatically connects to your Amazon SES account using the API and not the SMTP. And this is I ran into this recently. I really like it. So maybe you guys can check it out as well. I do have an affiliate link in the description below or also on my website. In case you do find it interesting and want to use it, please consider using the affiliate link. But other than that, I think this is all that I have to show you today. I hope you found this useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it with others. If you do run into any issues, I will try my best to answer them. Just put them down in the comments below. If not me, there may be others that can also help. So it's always good to just put some questions down in the comments, and hopefully we will help you out. I think that's it. Until the next video, you guys take care.